Alright, so I played a game recently called Veritus, which is a disappointing game. And the thing is, everything here is essentially the same as Prodigal, the previous game from Color Grave. But it's just worse. Enemies are more annoying, everything feels faster but not in a good way, and it's like the hitboxes of everything I won't care. Would not recommend it, flat out. Considering I loved the previous game, it's criminal to make such a misstep. What is it about? Hell if I know. After playing Prodigal I tried to read some in-game books, get through the dialogue and somehow try to grasp what the hell is happening, and I could not. It felt as if there was a whole series of games between this and the previous entry. I recognized 2, maybe 3 characters. It even took me a bit to understand that the main character is the same. Just about anything to tie it back to choices and anything from Prodigal. What did I enjoy? I guess it looked nice. Like the NES graphic style. It's still that, so yeah. And that's it. Any positives to talk about? What did I dislike? First of all, the movement. The previous game had a grid. The characters moved in straight lines and the player had the 0.5 kind of step in between. Now it's smooth. Which would be generally a good thing, but it messes up absolutely freaking everything. Dodging is a lot harder, hitting anything is a lot more difficult, and I feel like there was at least some amount of collision the player had before. It's not just a constant enemy up the butt, which again are harder to hit. Which means that I'm pretty sure after playing for a few hours I died more times than I ever did through the entirety of Prodigal. Second is the story. Like I have said, it's entirely nonsensical and is delivered horribly. It's as if a player is thrown into the middle of a story without a beginning, and there probably were a few steps in between as well. Oh, and the characters also talk about 5 times more than they possibly should. So many words and absolutely nothing actually said. Besides, I liked the characters before, almost none appear here. What about my choices? What about the little town? What about the pirates? What's the Dark Hand ever explained? Why are we even in this stupid castle and who are these people? It's like, whenever anything gets explained, it gets done in a complete roundabout way and leaves more questions without even answering the original ones. I hate the story. Looking back at my thoughts on Prodigal, I said that the story was enjoyable. Up until the first ending. Then it flies off the rails. The people's stories are still there, but this bigger picture stuff, the cosmic entities, the other garbage like that, yeah. The whole point, the whole focus of Veritus is that part which I strongly disliked in the original. And there is nothing I enjoyed from the original. Yeah, god damn it. Next is the more minor stuff. Inventory management is worse. Before it was clear progression. Start with nothing, pick up something, eventually it gets an upgrade, yada yada yada. There are some things like boots or rings which offer side grades, but it was all easy to manage. In Veritas, every single pickup has some sort of sarcastic remark. None of it explains anything about what the item picked up is, and is honestly just annoying snark. Then there is a crafting system which is essentially press buttons randomly hoping something good happens. Because there is absolutely zero explanation how any of it works, or whenever the player needs to go somewhere or do something to create a better item, or whenever there apparently is a better item. I still don't get how food works. Apparently I crafted something. Where did it go? What did it do? Who knows? Next is the actual navigation. The world in Prodigal was full of secrets and Metroidvania style of exploration. World of Veritas is a confusing castle which doesn't always move the player into the same place from the same door. There is one door, and it leads toward the whole bunch of different dungeons. There is no explanation how to get back to the other dungeons, no way to do them in a different door, and no control over anything. I don't even know what to compare it to. Circus and Warframe, maybe? Only, not enjoyable. Then I had the problem with the fact that enemies don't behave the same way. That little jumping biting dudes now leap half a screen away with barely a cooldown. There are enemies who sit still until the player comes into view, upon which they go nuts and chase but also change direction sometimes. And it's barely possible to run away from those. Oh, and there are also ranged skeletons who randomly pop up and can shoot out of vision, with arrows flying under the sprites of everything else, making it impossible to spot them coming. Oh, and occasionally there are also obnoxious assholes who either throw pumpkins without warning over more than a screen, or giant plants snapping at the player at Mach 3, or some other idiotic crap I can think of right now. It's like everyone in this game is on crack, and then randomly there is a boss who barely moves or does anything, being less difficult to beat than a basic skeleton because it's so freaking huge and the default enemies can be 100 times harder to hit without taking infinite damage. Also, sometimes it was difficult to see whenever something is actually a floor or a pitfall. The plant boss was guilty of that. And there is a confusing flying glowing pickup which empowers the pickaxe charge. It flies back and forth, frequently over pits, sometimes getting picked up, sometimes flying away. I don't know why the hell does it do it, and when you can pick it up reliably. Whatever. Oh, and there's a new pickaxe charge which somehow deals less damage than normal. Did I mention that I beat Prodigal without even knowing you can charge the pickaxe attack? Also, the music is worse. I don't know what is it, but it feels like a worse version of the existing stuff. And whatever is new is shorter and a more repetitive loop. And the opening cutscene drags on. And the new voice acting is just grunting, which gets extremely loud and annoying during the one time there is a wave survival with one of the characters. And you can't rename the character. And, yeah. I hate this game. I don't know how to explain it better. It's mind-boggling how Color Grave can create something so similar yet make it so much worse in every single way. It's as if someone looked at StarCraft and StarCraft 2 and said, "We need more disruptors, Widowmines and Banelings. Let's make those units free." And the story doesn't have enough Kerrigan flip-flopping while someone spouts hours of exposition and annoying chatter. Oh, and mech. That's great. Mech, swarm hosts, and air toss. That's how you could create the best version of StarCraft. Bloody hell. I can't remember the last time I was this upset and disappointed.